I think, tipo, they always wanted me to be better than them. And growing up, tipo, I couldn't understand certain things. So they always pushed me, tipo, to be better than them in an extreme way, sort of. Uh, but at the same time, they notice that I'm inclined into arts and all these, and they really want to support that, and they support it big time. But at the same time, they're trying to push me to like other things, so I can in their mind to have life easier, you know.
Options and yeah, for sure.
So then, from that point, I ended up in some on the local council as well, and with the I always felt that the MST, the street group of Mosta, was not represented anywhere.
Welcome back to the last ones. We're here with Funky today, the man who made it all possible. Really, this building, podcast, everything. How are you? It's
All good.
Amazing. Funky is the owner of One for One Records, where we are currently streaming to you, not live, but almost live. But Funky is I don't even know what to categorize you as, because you are an artist, but you're so much more than that. You own One for One Records, you're a recording artist, you're a producer, you are a rapper, you are a performer in general. Even when you're not rapping, when you're not making music, there's still just something about you, that the presence, the energy, it is contagious. How did it all start? Where was your
What an
first? I mean, you're an easy one. Where was your first connection to music? When did that start?
So, from a really, really early age, I always felt that I need to express myself from as long as I can remember. But I think the first encounter with music was at Playhouse. I used to go to this a drama arts and crafts for children.
Cute.
I was like around 2-3 years old, and I stayed here till I was like 6, I think. And so I started first like doing dance as in I used to like fool around in reality, but
funky break dancing at 6 years old.
and all that, I always was more inclined into like break dance, you know, and like the hip hop sound from that age. But at the same time, I also started learning banda. Like I used to go to Nicolas Zwart in Mosta, where I started to learn first the theory of music, and then eventually I started playing the trumpet, the cornetta, and then later on, very much later on, I changed my instrument to alt horn.
Wow.
But before that, I always was into like dancing and expressing myself, and from a really young age, I always felt the need to unite people under some type of even just to joke or to fictitiously invent stories, you know, as a child you play and stuff.
Okay. So like to do with this, bringing people together. I remember, for example, not only in music, but you like either did some kind of movement to start a parkour park, or I don't know how this worked.
That came much later on.
Are we going in order?
No, we can go
because that wasn't, you were like 14, you got the local council involved. I forgot the story. Like that was quite, you take a lot of initiative. You are quite like an organized person, even if people were to see your drawers, but you like to organize people as well, not just
Funky's drawers.
At that time, so I always was part of a lot of groups, of youth groups. So I have this joke with my friends that I was in every youth group in Mosta except for the elderly one and Girl Guides and Talhamima. Like otherwise, I think I was in all of them.
Wow.
And I always felt this like tension between, for example, Scouts and Zak and Youth Center and the Museo and all these things.
And you used to go around.
And I used to go to all of them. And I had a good relationship with most of them. So when I go from one to another, I either was hated because I'm not like representing, like the group I'm part of, or otherwise, I'm sorry, I didn't feel or understand why all this hate or like,
the
beef
rivalry,
for no
especially
reason.
within religious groups for kids as well sometimes.
So
it's like classic tribalism, though, like they don't need to have a reason, but like if I only go to one and I don't know what's to the other, you saw a lot, so you realize like they're all just people, I guess.
So then, from that point, I ended up on the local council as well, and with the I always felt that the MST, the street group of Mosta, was not represented anywhere. So when we have meetings with the local council, like the youth group, there's a representative from Scouts, there's a representative, and like the needs of those youths, children, were somehow represented, but the rest of the others, like who weren't in a like traditional youth group or anything, were not represented.
What, more like the sort of bicycle?
Exactly, the guys running in the streets, But in Mosta, at least my how I was brought up, especially, it was organized somehow. In my opinion, it was more organized than certain other groups, and I was always fascinated how this works. Like, for example, KTT, like keep them together. It means like they were a parkour group which started in Mosta, and they were taking care of the majority of the local parks, like Bandli and all these things. And there was this particular one in Mosta, which was like their home base, sort of. And eventually, in collaboration with a lot of other NGOs, and we also managed to win the president's fund for it to do this project. And with a lot of NGOs and youths, we managed to create this parkour park, which was also recognized from a lot of other tracer groups internationally, and they came over and stuff.
Like, then you applied this even to music, because at a point 141 began, like, and how did this?
So, mela, from a young age, tipo, my first sort of band was created around year 5. I was like in year 5, something there. And it was called the Zoo Band.
Zoo Band!
Because everyone was an animal, basically. My nickname was like since year 2. Like, at that time it was Shadina.
Shadina.
And I really hated that name.
Okay.
I didn't want to associate myself to a Shadina. And it all started because I used to take a banana every day to school. And there was this guy in Somma who started calling me Shadina, and I didn't like it at all.
So you grabbed it and you turned it into something that you made your own.
And then for Carnival, I decided to dress up as a monkey to show that I'm not pissed about this. But it worked the other way around, because then even the administration, all the teachers and stuff, started calling me Shadina as well.
No.
But then I embraced it, sort of. And we started the Zoo Band. And in year 5, we were like 5 people. And then in year 6, for the Carnival concert of the school, we were like a full-on band. Like,
oh my God. What genre were you playing?
Yeah, it was like a backing track and everyone messing around. Like,
okay.
We were just,
the jungle.
Exactly, literally. Like, everyone doing their own thing, not even matching.
But even
or
from
anything.
that age, you were already interested in hip hop and, R&B.
But subconsciously, like, to be 100% honest, like, I didn't embrace the hip hop and my upbringing, sort of, that I was brought up in the streets and stuff. Like, I didn't. I always wanted to reject it. Like,
how come?
Because the stigma that you're less and you can't make it, and
you're a hamallu because you just grew up around
not that I hate it. Like, so I always was interested into learning and like the scholastic syllabus and everything, but somehow there was something which was keeping me back, sort of, and I couldn't understand. So also with this on everything, people didn't help the situation. So I always tried to portray myself more as a good kid, and I try as much as I can to get good grades and all these, to try and stay away from like the
expectation that they had from you about where you grew up. But was this subconscious infiltration of, okay, I am very engaged and very compelled towards hip hop and all of that from your family?
Not really. My parents are not into hip hop at all.
So did your parents play any role when it came to your musical career?
Music, yes. Even the arts and stuff. Like, because I was brought up, I would say, in a very non-traditional way.
Okay, do tell.
Like going to the beach, for example. My mother had like a Subaru, and she used to drift everywhere and stuff. Like. Enough. And my father, he's a creative at heart, but because of work and to make things meet, they dropped it, specie. They didn't pursue their career as such into arts. Enough. Even like I used to get a lot of support, but at the same time they didn't understand, because till I was around Form 1, I used to be like this very, how can I say, like obedient,
Okay, can't quit.
I think they always wanted me to be better than them. And growing up, I couldn't understand certain things. So they always pushed me to be better than them in an extreme way, sort of. But at the same time, they notice that I'm inclined into arts and all these, and they really want to support that, and they support it big time. But at the same time, they're trying to push me to like other things, so I can, in their mind, to have life easier,
options, and yeah, for sure.
So until I got this realization, I used to rebel in a very kif state. I go to the park and stay there, even sleep outside, just to make a simple point.
Yeah.
All these realizations made me understand, that if you collaborate, things move much easier.
Yes.
So by time I accepted that if I have a relationship which is collaborative with my parents, everything will go smoother. And when I understand that, then everything started going amazing, I would say.
And when did you have that realization that you want to make music a full-time thing? Not just a hobby, not just something that you do on the side, but something you want to pursue full-time?
I think I was around Form 2. So
Wow.
I would say I was a bit delusional, not gonna lie. But
aren't we all?
But when I realized that so in reality I wanted to become an architect, but I was never very good in maths and all these things.
For somebody who designed his own studio, though, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, I think that since it's a bit of a passion of mine, I put my heart and soul into it, and I think I can manage to do that job pretty good.
Amazing.
But there are certain criteria to achieve that role, which are a bit more challenging, maybe, for me to achieve in the traditional way. So, then it ended up not pursuing that. When I finished secondary school, I immediately started thinking on how to try and make it as my career, and I moved to Switzerland. First, I started attending a lot of like youth exchanges, and I started that as well from a very young age, like traveling alone. I think I was 13, 14 when I first started traveling alone, and that also was a big growth, and also like seeing other countries, how they operate and everything. It was like
a culture shock almost. Yes, definitely. Nice. Mela, we were speaking about the fact that you obviously decided right after secondary school that you want to do this full time, which is not an easy decision to take, especially at such a young age. Most musicians or artists tend to mull on it a bit, just through the idea of doing it full time, but eventually go into it later on. Where did you decide to start from? So you decided, okay, I want to make this my full-time thing. What was the first step towards that? Was it being in a band? Was it producing music? What was it?
So I started making money sort of with music because of banda and DJing.
Okay.
So
it initially started from there.
Yeah, so I used to play with a lot of different band clubs around the island, and obviously it was a very little sum of money, but still for that age, I used to consider it quite a good amount of money. And I used to do these random gigs, I would be dressed up like a knight sort of, and either playing the bugle or playing the drums. And it used to be a lot of very rich people having a gala dinner or something like that, and you're just there, and you're just there, and then when the grandmaster comes, and you just do something like this, and it was a good way of doing some money as well. And then when I started creating these remixes and these things, I started playing at a lot of different events. And the fact that I used to attend to a lot of different youth groups, it also helped. Because Christmas parties, gatherings and stuff, and I always was the go-to person to take care of the music. So it already helped to have this, really image as you're the person to go to, So that helped as well. But then the change from playing with Zach Scouts and the Youth Center and all this.
What is Zach? You keep saying Zach.
Zazazzjoni Kattolika. It's like a youth group.
A religious center.
Religious.
For kids.
We used to hang out
because I used to think
going
you're
to the youth
talking
center,
about your cousin when you say that. And I just noticed it's something, a group. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. And then, from that point onwards, I started playing more in Pacheville and other clubs and stuff. And and became sort of my side hustle. So in the morning I'm at school, and in the evening I'm playing either at a club or something like that. And for that age, I think I was doing quite a good amount of money.
So when did you re-embrace the hip-hop roots?
I think that came later on. So at this time, I was visioning myself as an electronic artist.
Wow.
Doing
DJ funk.
Doing mostly minimal techno, or I used to call it minimal funk, because there's these elements of tribal in them, and doing them in a techno way, sort of. And so yes, incorporating a lot of brass instruments and electronic elements, and I used to combine them together. And so at this time I had Back in Town, which is my first released track, and then I had this song called Robustus, which was a collaboration with a Spanish producer, which I met at a youth exchange. And with this mindset, I was going, example enough, Switzerland. Every time I'm abroad, I go to these labels and try to sign myself to a label.
Wow.
And I was managing. I send the demos and everything, and they accept. And then they send me an email after or something, or call, and they tell me, the genre box, you didn't write anything in it. Can you specify? And I tell them I don't want to specify. I don't know where I'm going, specie. I don't want to be enough punk. I don't want to be rock. I don't want to be hip hop. I just want to do music. And they tell me, unfortunately, we cannot promote you without a genre. We cannot put a vision. So they drop me for that reason. And it happened like 4 or 5 times.
You couldn't just pick one and then change later.
When I have something in mind, people.
As an artist, you want to remain true to where your roots are, and if your roots and your intention was to experiment with genres, to create your own genres. Nowadays, I think that's way easier to do and not pick a genre than it was back then, for sure. But
today it's a bit more easy to jump from one.
Could you not have experimented anyway and just write?
Yeah, yes, I could have. I didn't see it like that at the time.
Fair.
But did that spark something inside of you for One for One?
Yeah, that was the reason, in fact.
There we go. That makes sense.
Because then, I stopped, and said, why am I trying to put myself in these boxes, sort of, when I'm against this type of vision, like everyone in a box. And I said, might as well try and create my own label. I didn't know what I was signing myself up for.
Now you're a prisoner here.
No, I love what I do.
It's a lot, of course.
big chunk of work. Then I started thinking on how this can be done, and I evolved all my plans and I changed everything to make sense out of this idea. And One for One Records was born. Previous to One for One Records, I was already collaborating with a lot of artists. So, for example, I was already in contact with Oxygen, with Janelle of Jen, and Rhea, for example, and a lot of other artists. And the hip-hop community in Malta was already tipo all the time. No, at this time, Semplicemente were I would say almost enemies.
Oh, wow.
Because Malta and Rabat used to hate each other big time.
Okay, all right.
And I used to hang out mostly
with Malta
with Drin Lapes, Shmoon, and these people, tipo, who were part of the MST. And as in, their first collaboration was with Semplicemente their first track. There still was this like street beef, Then speċi isu, I don't know at what age, I think around 2013, I think I was reflecting on myself for an MCAST project.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do this like it's a reflection on my life.
Okay.
And when I was doing this reflection on my life, it's somewhere here, this book. And I was realizing, tipo, how much everything makes sense, tipo. I was giving it the sense, Ma tipo, from a young age, I always chose things which were related to monkeys. I always had like purple things around me. Tipo, enough, I always felt the need to unite people together. So I was realizing all these things. And I said, okay, maybe this is my forte, this is my calling, sort of. This is what I need to do.
This is my brand, it's already there.
and I focused on that. Tipo, what I love is music. What I really wish is to have like this as my full-time job and helping others to make it their full-time job. So everything was aligning good. And then I was embracing more myself. Tipo, I was, all my childhood was in Mosta with this crew, which other people don't respect. And I really always showed up and I had a lot of respect back, So all that I mux utilized, I don't know the proper word, tipo...
You kind of embrace it and roll with it.
Exactly, tipo, this is who I am, tipo, this is part of me, and I need to accept it, tipo, and actually embrace it.
Wow.
And from that, tipo, from there we started Echo.
Amazing. And obviously, all of these projects that you're talking about, they all involve collaboration. You can't do any of what you have done over these insane amount of years without the help of other people or collaborating over other people. How did you find that process, collaborating with other foreign or local artists? Was it an easy process to get into?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Because it's... So,
competition over collaboration here?
In the start, I used to put a lot of effort in everything needs to get money back, you know? I used to focus a lot on that and trying to make it a business. And so I used to think a lot in a business way, and like I listen to others, you know, and see the vision. And then people I dream for them and impose a bit what I have in my mind on them. And this I won't say I regret this, because it was a learning curve for both ends. But by doing so, I learned a lot about myself and also the creative process, how to collaborate and all these things. And also how to let go. For example, I have this very particular... So when I was collaborating with Oxygen, once I had this song, Insomma, and it took me almost a week of like, I didn't sleep at all, almost. And I really put my heart and soul into it. And then we went to the studio where we were working at, and the producer, who was like mixing and mastering everything, just literally deleted all the work, because in reality that's what the song needed, you know. I was overthinking it. But at the time I didn't process it like that.
All of that work for nothing.
Who are you to do this, you know? This is how I processed it. And now I know that is part of the process, you know. You're not attacking the individual, you're attacking not even attacking, for the greater good of the product.
You need
know?
to like take yourself out
of it, you know. And that was a big learning curve as well.
Wow. I mean, I don't think it's that easy to be able to actually collaborate without having those moments of doubt, or those moments of, okay, am I going to give up my idea to contend somebody else's idea that I chose to collaborate with? I think it's, like you're saying, an entire process. But with that process comes a lot of self-reflection. Was there ever a point where you doubted the music career and path that you took? So was there ever a point where you said...
Yes, a lot.
Yes, okay. Can you
mostly
tell us a bit about
because
that?
when you're collaborating with other people, the commitment, it's always changes, you know?
Fluctuates,
So if I'm committing a lot and the other artist is not committing, and in reality, for example, I'm just the producer and you're like the face of it, and you're not committing fully, you start losing a bit faith in the entire project. So you start questioning people. With all this time, I could focus more on what I really wish to say and do, rather than trying to build other people's brand, ideas, you know, sort of. So that was always like a mental struggle. But at the same time, I always felt that this is not a waste of time, because
something felt right.
Something felt right, and there was genuine enough unity, even with people who didn't make sense in the same room, actually talking and eventually collaborating together. For me, that was magical and worth it, you know?
Of course, you're uniting a community.
Everything becomes worth it, like in an instant.
Wow. And Luke mentioned something earlier before, where you have been hospitalized for your craft. Now that's dedication. I want to go down that road. How the hell were you hospitalized for music or your projects? Take me down that road.
So basically, when I was younger, I was obsessed almost on Diplo, Skrillex and Steve Aoki.
Classic.
And these people, and Avicii as well. And these people... I used to study not their music, I used to study their life, how they operate, like how they manage to have a family, how they manage to have multiple brands simultaneously, and all these things. And while doing all this, I was seeing myself in their life, you know? And then Steve Aoki released this documentary about himself. I sleep when I'm dead. And I took it a bit too literally. As in, and I used to, tipo, for example...
No sleep.
Literally, tipo, I've done weeks without any sleep. Like, for example...
A few hours here and there, though.
Even though, not even, like, kif tgħid, cat naps or what?
Like a tiny nap, siesta.
What do you think is the longest you were awake hours? Like not even a 1 hour nap.
A week, I think.
Not even a 1 hour nap.
A week, maybe I'm in a lecture, for example, and I end up going like this.
That is the best time to nap.
Tipo, eżempju at this period, tipo, I used to all night be DJing. Then in the morning go for a lecture. Then I go for private lessons of Althorn, for example. Then I go to a youth session or something. Then I go to another lesson somewhere else. Then
and you never felt burnt out?
At the time, no. Because I didn't know otherwise.
Yeah.
And I was so...
focused and locked in.
This is what I need to do. If I'm not doing it, no one will.
Do you think it's because like so many people who are going down like the music or the DJ route or whatever will or have at some point just gotten quite addicted or just into like smoking weed or drinking or doing drugs and stuff, and they're like losing all this time and energy and stuff, and you always had the discipline, you stayed clear of most of
it's
that
not like
stuff.
that
Like,
for me.
Do you think it enabled this though? Because like I can't imagine, like most people are too like sloppy in a sense to pull that work schedule, and
how I see this,
especially at the age of like 15 or something.
How I see this is that I would think that the majority of people start smoking, taking drugs and all these things like to rebel somehow, you know. And since I was brought up like in a very relaxed environment, I think my way of rebelling was like
being good.
Tipo, enough. I'm into hip hop and I don't have any tattoos, for example. I'm hanging out a lot with...
I've never noticed this. You don't have any tattoos.
And I used to... Tipo, when I was very young, even primary school, tipo, I always felt more animal than human, sort of. I don't know how to explain this, because it might sound weird. Ma, tipo... Ma nafx, tipo, this is the way I was created. I don't know. Like... I don't know how to process it, ma, tipo, this is me, you know? And, ma nafx, I used to feel good about the fact that I'm sort of comfortable the way I am, and I need to embrace that.
And
this was also...
trait.
Sorry?
It's a very unique trait to have nowadays.
Ma nafx, I didn't tipo think a lot about how other people, how they see it as that.
Other artists nowadays, the new artists, are the complete opposite of that? Do you think they think too much about how they're coming across, how they look, if they're in the hip hop scene, if they should have, you know, tattoos and all of that?
The image plays a really, really, really important part of the whole package. So I think irrelevant on how you look, tipo, ma the image is very important. And ma nafx, tipo, for example, there's this guy, Rick Rubin, I don't know if anyone knows about him.
Of course.
Tipo, this guy is literally, tipo, he looks a definition of a hobo, I would say.
Okay.
Tipo, but he's very, tipo...
He produced for like tons of the big bands. Like for sure you've heard 10 different artists he produced. Is like one of the biggest of all America.
Okay, amazing.
And tipo, and I always was, but the things I like about artists or creatives don't align in a way, sort of. So I'm obsessed on this guy who never sleeps. He's always on the go. He does extreme amounts of things. And then at the same time, there's this like very peaceful, always like meditating and like very one with nature. So these things, tipo...
You got both personality traits from him.
I believe. So that was my internal struggle, and also growing up, I never belonged anywhere, sort of.
Okay.
So that also probably plays a big part of this.
When did you feel like you belonged somewhere?
When I started creating my own things.
Okay.
So previous to that, I didn't belong anywhere, I think. Because, for example, when I'm with the musicians, because you're a DJ. And when I'm with the DJs, because you're a musician. Enough. If I met enough at a particular youth group or something, you hang out with those guys, you know? It's always like this.
Yeah.
Even school and everything. Even simply, you don't skate, for example, you hang out with the guys who do graffiti, you know, or in every aspect, I always was
There's
like
always something
somehow
missing.
in the middle. And but again, I learned to live in the middle, sort of, and then
stuck in the middle with you. Wow, but you're very dedicated to your craft. I mean, we've seen just over this last 2 years how I saw you've been doing a lot these last 10 years, but let's just say over these last 2 years, you've been part of an album released, also through One for One Records, but also as an artist on it. You've worked with a lot of artists and produced their music. You've done music videos. You've been part of big productions. You are creating a lot of different events within different local councils, or even if it's not local councils, but through different communities to integrate society of musicians and also just society that love music. Mm-hmm. You are very dedicated. Do you think that nowadays artists who were brought up maybe in a different culture and a different mindset are as dedicated? Because let's just say, are they as dedicated to their craft, or do you think that the music industry right now is lacking that dedication?
I think there is dedication, and I think that how society evolved and what we see as important makes it more difficult. So, for example, having the financial stability, having the relationship stability, having like everything planned out. I think that a lot of people get scared of these things, and certain sacrifices. For example, I managed to do a lot of things in my life, and I'm very grateful. But for example, I really wish to dress better, for example, but I'm always with the same clothes, for example, because I literally don't, as in if I want, I can. I don't invest my time and money into buying new clothes. For me, that's just and as in if I'm performing somewhere or something, yes, then it's important. And just to live my day to day, you know,
you don't feel the need.
I prioritize the craft more than and at a point even to my health, you know, which then it was becoming a problem. I was committed too much. So now I would say I'm still learning how to balance everything.
But you found that balance somewhat.
I think insomma, right now, I'm still working extreme hours, you know, more, like my day is like, I would say almost 15 hours work, you know, in a day, like even more sometimes.
Wow.
Can you run us through a day, like how it goes? Like, what's it like a day in the life of Funky?
It's not always the same. It's never the same, actually.
Which is the beauty of it.
But the majority of times I wake up, or someone wakes me up, and I'm in the early morning. I'm either late for something, but since the majority of times I end up sleeping at my studio, so either they wake me up and immediately I'm working. Or if it's a day which is more normally paced, I would like take a shower and start a bit slow, but immediately it's work, you know, emails or like logistics and stuff. And the majority of events happen at night, so
You'll be up long hours.
My day ends mostly at 4 a.m. even later, you know.
Wow.
So I sleep almost always.
Even on weekdays.
Depends. Like in summer, probably yes.
There's an event every single day.
Yes, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe Monday and Tuesday.
It's a bit more calm.
Chill. Monday is like the off day, I would say.
And obviously, the projects that you have done and your list, which is, I think, even if we just look at your CV, insane. What was your most exciting project, or the one that you felt the most content when you look back at it now?
Depends which role I was in, I think.
Okay.
Tipo, from performing aspect, I would say the fact that I managed to play on all the stages of every festival in Malta with different projects. For me, that's very, very
amazing. Amazing.
I'm very grateful that is my reality, you know, and even that I managed to unite a lot of hip hop artists under one event. That is very, very something which I really always wished.
Yeah.
And it happened multiple times, but there was a particular time where the lineup was over 30 artists.
That's amazing.
Wow. And as one knows, it's pretty difficult to unite a lot of artists, and everything goes smooth, because that's what makes it special, because everything went smooth.
The organization behind it, which is also where you come in, not
only that, even that the artists between themselves, they had a great time and they didn't beef or anything, you know, like it was everything went smooth from that aspect as well. I value that a lot as well.
And is there anything that you haven't done yet that you really want to do?
I really wish to have a more sustainable ecosystem that manages to respect the artist, mostly from the financial aspect, and also from the how they're treated before and during the event. I believe that things have been moving forward in a very good pace and a nice direction.
Long way to go.
I still believe that the local artist is taken for granted big time. Because nowadays, foreign artists and local artists, I would say they have the same product. Okay, maybe the following is different, which sometimes you can argue, which is
makes a difference when it comes to marketing.
It's very ticket. I understand that ticket sales you can't guarantee always.
There's this feeling of like not knowing them as well, which is like for me. I noticed it's like when there's these events like Rock the South and you see the lineup and you're like, I either know them or know someone who knows them, and then it's like either you're going to support your friends, but it doesn't have that feeling of magic when it's, say, a distant artist where you just imagine them. Because you also know them or know someone who knows them as a person. It's like a tiny island issue.
Yeah, that's the reality we live in as well. Yes, I get that.
What's your thoughts on like the exportation of local artists though? Because these local artists have the product and they can have the effect of, I don't know them in France, you know what I mean, Italy.
Yes,
yes.
That's one of the way forwards that a lot of artists are trying to
achieve now.
Yes. And the fact that now like Mea, Solidarietà and all these things are working also for these types of
and it was about time.
Initiatives.
We needed a certain union, I would say.
In the past, there were a lot of other similar initiatives. But unfortunately, since there wasn't a lot of support and willpower from also the organizers, you know, because in reality...
Well, I guess an artist can do this without...
Yes, but the thing that we face a lot is that a lot of people, you know, are aware of what the issues are. and and certain people know what needs to be done.
Yeah.
But the problem is like committing to actually working on them.
And executing it.
When you commit to work on these things, you start making enemies, losing opportunities. Like, and at the end of the day, if you're a full-time artist, somehow, since we operate in this small bubble, you can't. A lot of people get scared to, if they shellifa with someone,
Yeah.
So that makes things a bit more challenging to find people to commit.
And I mean, in Malta, it's a big thing, reputation. If you don't agree with someone and you work with them and it ends on bad terms, you could be basically ruining a lot of future job opportunities. So it becomes a very big problem where people are very careful with who they work with. They kind of walk on eggshells with each other because they don't want to piss each other off. And then you have the other extreme where some people will just say it to your face. And it might not end well in the fact where then those opportunities are forever lost. Unfortunately, it's a small island.
Yes,
it's kind of just how it works.
But that's, I think, a bit scarcity mindset kind of as well, because it's like, oh no, boo-hoo, like I'm going to lose this opportunity here. The point I think that people probably they should be thinking is Malta's like nothing. There's all of Europe. If everyone hates you in Malta, everyone loves you, it changes practically nothing.
But if you tend to be
if
based
you can get
here,
a
then
plane
that's
ticket,
the issue.
then that's mainly...
Maybe, yeah.
I understand both. Like there are a lot of examples of artists who decided to leave the country and they are making it big time.
Oh,
in
definitely.
a lot of different genres.
Yes.
And also artists who stayed to base here and go for festivals and stuff, which are also like managing to
kind of. I mean, that's the smartest economically, probably.
The challenge that I put on myself, I can take another route. For example, go abroad and pursue certain things which I really wish to do. But what I commit myself to do specie is to focus more on creating spaces on the island, where things operate more in a more sustainable way. It's
cultivate the scenes
in the past,
the scene better, right? Like
it always was a struggle to make something look professional. But at the same time, if you want to have something professional, you need to pay the people with a professional fee, because that is the whole point. So that was becoming a bit of a struggle financially. And then I was saying, like, how can I make all this work with smaller budgets, but staying loyal to, So this was always the struggle. So once again, I felt that I was in the middle. So the artist doesn't have the budget to create an amazing vision that if it's given to the world, it's magic.
Definitely.
But at the same time, if I'm collaborating with a DOP, a director, a photographer, you need to respect their craft.
Of course. Definitely.
And you need to pay them the amount
that they deserve.
That they deserve. And by time, especially after COVID, the sponsoring aspect, I would say that was non-existent almost. Especially,
it died down a lot, for sure.
Especially to the type of artist that I tend to collaborate with. Because when you're pushing a more fun or like entertaining sound vibe, it's a bit easier to find someone who can support your project. But if you're like doing an artivist type of track, it's more difficult to brands to associate themselves, especially when you think of
the alternative scene,
So that makes it more challenging as well. But it's not in any way very
a challenge that you don't overcome.
Exactly, let's go.
Amazing.
And we managed to do it. It's always a struggle to have everything sustainable. So always trying to make sense out of everything, how things can be more sustainable in favor of primarily the artist.
Yeah.
Rather than Because, okay, in the past I had certain arguments, for example. But if you collaborate with with big budgets, with big businesses, that maybe they don't align that much with our values, you still have the income, and then you push your agenda, But by doing so, I believe that you lost a bit
your morals.
Your morals, as in sometimes you need to, as in we live in a commercialized lifestyle,
yes,
and
but it's a harsh line, a very, very thin line that you need to kind of be careful when you thread, because if you go over your limits, there is always a point of no return where you're like, all of my morals have gone out of the window now. Which is
so that's the biggest challenge, but otherwise,
what you create,
like-minded people, they start understanding people who are doing it like for the money, who are doing it for the fame, who are doing it for the culture, who are doing it for the legacy of it, and like to have a better world and everything. So then like-minded people will start
they'll gravitate towards each other.
Exactly.
That's the thing. You've got like the actual values as one for one records. Like if you took that payout once, I don't know if it's okay to say on the podcast. Like once, for example, some oil company. I'm not gonna get the details. They were offering you tens of thousands. Like to cover up because you are making a video about environmental activism, and you straight up denied it.
Which
you let them give their money, and you
at the time I took a lot of ego in the fact that I refused it, but at the same time, I met other collaborators there that today I work with as well, and they told me they see it from another lens, like from their perspective, they would take the money because at the end of the day, this money, we don't know what happened with it, So and then you do your own thing, and you kif tgħid.
You still kind of
you still
you kind of take
ideas,
it
perspectives, you cannot
it's like Robin Hood, taking the money from the evil, giving it back to the ones
somehow,
who okay, Mr. Robin Hood.
I think for an individual, it's like you're saying, he can take it and then he can do something different with it. But because you've built a brand and you're trying to make a community and all these things, I think it's good that you just said no. So there's no twisting it and his motivations. He wanted money. You kept the values. I think
at the time, I really felt that was the best option. Today, I don't know what I will do. Like it really depends on the situation. Like nowadays, I understand that certain brands, in order to at the time as well, I wasn't aware of certain financial needs a proper company needs, So then you end up with certain bigger challenges, you need to.
That's an interesting question. Like I just thought, what does it cost to run a place like this? Like if in a month, if it were like to make nothing, like what's the passive? Because that's the thing now, you've built a company, so a lot of artists on his own in his room. So if he stops for a month, it costs him zero. But like,
it's still
you
not
kind
zero.
of have a lot to keep going. No, it's
your
not zero.
Parents or whoever takes care of the bills.
No, but it's zero because that's as in it's just cost of living. But I also have cost of running the whole like enterprise. Like,
by time, so back in 2018, for example, we had people who worked almost full time, like employees and everything. But then, like COVID hit us hard. Like we lost all of our income, and I would say I almost got crazy. Like I couldn't pay anyone. It took me 4 years to recover from that. So nowadays, it's more of a collaboration from every aspect.
Yeah.
obviously it's a project-based environment for the time being, but it also depends on the project, on the commitment of the artist. Nowadays, since we actually like since we operate in a lot of different areas, like suppliers, films, music videos, events, like there's a lot of like different things happening. So there's no rule and it fits for everyone. It's very, very, very subjective on a lot of different.
I guess it's good because it's actually like you get the people as you need them. I didn't know you actually had like full-time employees.
In the past, yes. In the past, that's how it started.
So the COVID was like really a big difference. Like
for us, yes, it was a very, very, very
total shutdown.
Almost. That was the reason why I ended up working.
Where was like?
We didn't have here in Funk, as in I was arranging and everything. We didn't operate from here. We started operating from here officially in 2024.
Oh wow, nice. Recent baby.
But here was always like work was being done
from
and
the
everything.
Challenges. Like you could have easily, like we were saying before, with the dedication and everything, like. You could have easily, you said like everything was running so well, then COVID came and blew it up. Like that would have been a really easy time to stop being consistent.
That's why it's very important. I kept going. That's why it's very, very important to surround yourself with people who motivates you and are like-minded and understand the vision and like
help you lock in.
The majority of times I'm hopeless, tipo, and what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing all this hassle? I can
live a quiet, simple life.
Again, like the ambitions and the simple life. Tipo, I really don't need anything to live. I sometimes I challenge myself like to live with €200 a month, for example, and I can do it.
Crazy.
Because I've done it multiple times in order to have
survive,
exactly, like to run things. People might find that lol crazy, which is. For me, tipo, it's a challenge that I accept,
Exactly.
Tipo, and I feel good about it, tipo.
I think it's good. Like that's the way to be happy. To be honest, all these things you don't need, like. Just give me an internet connection or a television and
I can make it work.
That as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Tipo, the majority of times I'm hopping to cafes and stuff. And when I was starting out, tipo, enough. Even for example, when I didn't have electricity here and stuff, I used to wash at the gym. Sleep at random places. Tipo, I did these type of sacrifices. Tipo. Kif tgħid, it's part of it, and I enjoyed it, taf kif.
And do you manage to keep up with also the social media presence while you are taking care of an entire infrastructure, business, production, you have your other side jobs where you're producing for other people, other productions. Do you keep up that presence? Because social media nowadays
it's never enough, and to be 100% honest, I really wish that we are in a better situation where we can have multiple social media marketing people, individuals, that
maybe you could use an AI agent.
Support artists. Maybe that's the future. I don't know.
They really
till the time being.
Did you get your 1 year free GPT Premium?
Not yet.
Get it's crazy, man. How good it is.
Personally, as a tool. Like AI as a tool, I embrace it. As well, I try to stay away or learn about it and not use it yet. Tipo, I'm not the type of...
using it's a good way to learn.
Yeah, I'm not the type of guy that, tipo, there's something new and I reject it immediately. It's not part of the system immediately, definitely not. Tipo, I'm curious to understand how things work. What are the pros? What are the cons?
But you take it slow.
Tipo, even for example, for me, it always takes quite time. Even for example, I started using Revolut very late, you know? Like it's always like this. You're for cautious, me. Tipo, first I do my homework and see what are the pros and cons and everything, and if it makes sense to our infrastructure and everything, and then we work on the necessity and everything. And I honestly I understand that by having these AI agents and stuff, everything is more clinical and more, you know, less mistakes and all these things. I still, even meetings, for example, I am not a big fan of online meetings. I prefer to do meetings, you know, people one-on-one and or like a group, you know. It's less productive, really, and you waste a lot of time. That's very true.
It makes a difference.
There's that human
it's more quality.
For me, it's more important. People, this is again because I prefer quality than quantity, and I see this in the same way.
Yes, 100%. And what's next for Funky? What are you doing now?
A lot of different things. Tipo,
what's the biggest project that you're super looking forward to coming up?
Tipo, mela. From the beatbox section, tipo, it's soon. Insomma, this one will come in July, so probably it will already be done, but we don't know the result yet. So I have the beatbox battle coming up.
Amazing.
And
good luck.
If I manage to win this, it will be the 6th win. Ongoing projects which I am working on are il-Kunsil ta' Triq, which is a very fun one, which we are incorporating hip hop with theater.
Nice.
And it will be like a live gig with a theater twist, you know, and I'm really looking forward to that. That will be in August. And then with Oxygen, we have an EP coming up soonish.
Okay.
Because with Oxygen, it's always a lengthy process because we really
take your time to make sure
give detail in a lot of things. Also, with Semplicemente ta' Triq, we have this it has been coming tipo since forever, like more than 4 years now, 3 years, 4 years. But it's a massive, massive project. It's a double album vinyl. And
I want mine signed.
And there's a lot of amazing collaborations.
Insane.
Both local and international.
Wow.
From around the world, like Mexico, America, England, France.
We got a little bit of a teaser of what Semplicemente would sound like on vinyl through the Was it
Exact. But this is also the first full hip hop vinyl album on the island.
This is why it's so important to follow the artists that are on this podcast, because you can go and see all of the projects that are coming up and insane projects like this. Yes. Amazing.
And as well, like end of the year, there will be another project released by Myles as well, which I play percussion drums on his project.
Amazing.
Hopefully I'm not missing anything. Then producing a lot for other artists, Lilion, Rea, and a lot of artists.
Busy year, busy year.
Bruda as well coming up. Hopefully I'm not in... That's what I'm afraid of.
There's
that I miss something on the
top
of my head. And as well, obviously, a lot of festivals and a lot of other projects during summer.
Definitely.
And a lot of events. Recently as well, we released an album vinyl as well with Eric Ace, which he is part of Extend, but he has his solo. This was his first solo album.
Amazing.
Now it's released.
Is legendary in the books of Malta, so that's amazing.
I guess unless you miss something, like that's for the upcoming, but we wanted like a last thing we wanted to speak about, I guess, is a bit more about Semplicemente, who you're gonna do the album with, and Oxygen, who you've been playing with for a really long time. So the order is up to you.
With Oxygen, the journey was amazing, and it still amazes me how us four, we are so different. So different. Tipo, Zach is coming from blues, and like a more rock vibe. Kurt and Katya, they are coming more from the pop, but in a very different way.
R&B,
even R&B and soul and this. And I am coming more from hip hop and like electronic sounds.
But you blend in.
And
perfectly.
somehow what I really respect and I really love that every sound, every aspect, every word, it's decided between us four.
Amazing.
Like everything. And that I think nowadays I really
appreciate it.
Yeah, because it's very rare. And with sempliċement it's always fun because it's very unpredictable, and I love like hanging out with them. Like it's always interesting, and
it's not just the music; it's the entire lifestyle.
And that in that aspect, it's a lifestyle. Tipo, even like. But it's amazing when you see like other people knowing the lyrics by heart and like living through those lyrics. Like, as in with other projects, I experience it as well. And with Semplicemente 3, there is this something like sometimes even us we struggle to remember certain words, because the catalog is quite a lot. People don't miss a word sometimes, and it's crazy. Like. And they are living it, not only like
you realize what effect you've had on people through your music.
And for me that's
why you do what you do.
It big time,
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Funky Monkey. This has been Luc, aka Funky Monkey, the man behind it all. I think that just kind of sums it up. The man behind probably half of the music videos, half of the produced projects that you've seen out there in the local scene. Maybe a bit less than half, but maybe a bit less than half, but the majority, he has been part of that project one way or another. Amazing. Thank you so much.